All right, guys, how's it going? Happy, what is today? Friday. Enjoy your weekend, whatever you're doing. I'm going to be going to a road trip. I'm going to go float a river with some buddies. So this video is going to be short, but it's just a market recap today. And, without further ado, I'm going to get right into it. The Black Bolt and White Flare, I think they're bottoming out here. Not in terms of how low they could go, but I think right now, I think is a decent time to start looking at picking these up, especially around $70. You're looking at people selling them for market price right now is 81. You can pick them up on Facebook Marketplace and stuff for 70. If you really work somebody and negotiate, you probably get them down at 65. But you're looking at Journey Together ETBs being $77, and these absolutely a million times over stand above Journey Together. I know they're not similar sets as a main set and a specialty set, but that's again even more reason to really think that these are going to do better than the ETB of Journey Together being at $77. Moving on, Destined Rivals, if you've been paying attention, Destined Rivals took off last week. It's doing really well. Again, we kind of talked about this in a previous video, I think. So again, I'm just here to kind of tell you guys what I'm investing in. And this is definitely a piece that I'm high on. You guys. Yeah, I think when we did this video, they were at 185. They were sitting there for a while. The graph for these boxes specifically is a little bit misleading because when they did release, people were buying them up as a pre-sale at $600. So when you look at this graph, it doesn't really look like it's moving much, but it really is. It looks pretty stagnant, but from 183, you go to the end over here, it's 253. So keep that in mind when you're looking at this graph in particular. It's a great art box. You have a trainer on it with Geo and Mewtwo. I love this box. I was high on it before. I was telling you guys to pick it up at 180. Now, do I think it's a little bit inflated? Absolutely. I don't think it should have dropped like that, but it did. I think someone went out and bought up to $300. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, it shot up to 300 or something. I think they just cleared it out all in one day. Right now you can see 34 listings, starts at 243. And then, the bottom ones is 299. I think they just went out and bought them all thinking, they could manipulate the market like that. But I mean, to be fair, it did jump up, $40-$50. So keep that in mind. I'm still high on the box. I think it's going to be a great box to have in the long run. All right, well, let's kind of keep going in theme here. The Mega Evolutions Enhanced Booster. This is one of the best, if you want to call it. I don't even know if we're calling it a base set yet, even though it is going to be technically the base set. This is, it looks great. The cards look great. 237. Well, what other boxes are we looking at in that price range? Surging Sparks. I think this is going to be a fun box to open. I really do. But yeah, anyways, I don't think that's a terrible price to be expecting it to be at. But ETBs for Prismatic, we got a bunch of those kind of dropped on, Pokemon Center. I didn't get any. I was trying. I didn't get any though. So I don't know how many they put out. You have a lot of Sam's Club doing them as well. And then we also have the other stuff coming out for Prismatic. Prismatic is getting printed pretty heavily. And you look at the price change, it's not much. It's 102. That's really not much. It's crazy how long and strong Prismatic is in terms of holding value. When this sets out a print, my God, dude, it's gonna run. And I think we're all in a similar boat right now of just when is the best time to pick it up? It has, who knows how many, you could have 2 more years on top of where it's at right now. Look at 151. 151's been printed for so long. And the Oh God, it's slipping my mind right now. Hold on, I'll just scroll and find it. Well, when it comes to my mind, I'll think about it. Crown Zenith. Crown Zenith was printed for a long time too. They overprinted that, but now those boxes are insane. I think Prismatic is just going to be another example of that. So we'll see. But I don't think it's a bad idea to pick up Prismatic. Yeah, I mean, if you can pick them up, and I like cases. I know a lot of people don't like paying for premium cases, but I've seen some pretty good deals that if I had more capital right now, I'd be scooping up. I need to start selling off some of my smaller items that aren't gonna like appreciate as well. But yeah, there are some plays that I think I want to be jumping on here soon. So Prismatic being one. The Pokemon Center is still holding up pretty well. 151, just doing 151 things. It's gonna obviously it's the star child investment right now. If you could be picking up 151, be doing it. It's one of the easier plays in terms of just smart and safe. Evolving Skies, you guys, I'm not even gonna keep telling you guys this anymore. If you're new to the channel, I'll tell you. Evolving Skies, I've been talking about it since it was $1,300 or pushing it. I've been talking about it, since it first came out, but I've been pushing it since it was recently, since 13. I was like, this box is gonna take off. Sure enough, it has. I don't know where it stops. It's the best set that we've had in such a long time, and it's for a lot of people it's unfeasible, but I mean you could still invest in it different ways. All right, moving on from that, you got the premium. Kind of covered this in the Prismatic, but you're not seeing a ton of these released, but there was a few that were on the the Pokemon Center. So hopefully you guys got some of those. Booster bundle still holding. I mean, it's been 65 for a while now. It's just been going up and down, but I mean, it's kind of held true around this price point. Again, which is impressive with how much they've printed it. Seismitoad, hopefully you guys didn't pick it up at 250 or whatever the heck it was going for. Again, I think if you guys want to play, if you guys want to know what a good play is on this card, okay? Instead of buying this card, do this. Instead of buying this card, go and buy this box. And I'm going to tell you why. Because one, if this card goes to zero, not zero, but let's say it goes down to something fair. Let's say it can become a $50 card, okay? Because some people are valuing it at 50, some people are valuing it at, it could be banned, it could be $1,000 card, whatever. Say it goes down to $50 and you paid $250 for it. Could have bought 3 of these, and the way people think is you could just say like this box could contain the Seismitoad that was banned. Say it does get banned, okay? It could contain it, and you got 3 of them, and then this box is going to shoot up in value. But a lot of people aren't thinking that way, a lot of people are just thinking the only way to obtain this card is buying it. You could buy this in hopes that still gets banned, and this is a safer option because you're going to have a sealed product. It's going to go up with time. It's also, you're going to be able to say that it does possibly contain that card. Okay. So, I mean, those are the plays that I'm telling people to look for. The 666 thing is a stretch, in my opinion. It's a stretch. Banning it, and if it does get banned, okay. But I think, that risk, that level of risk, I think you could put it elsewhere and have much less risk and possibly even better returns. All right. But yeah, that would be my play. If I was really interested in this card, instead of paying that premium price that it's going for right now, I'd be investing in anything that could contain the card. So yeah, like imagine getting cases of this with the print date on it. Because sometimes it'll say like, do not sell before XYZ date. For this box, that would be gold, right? If it had that and it was a bannable card and you have a case of it, yeah, that's insane, so that product goes up extremely high in premium. Anyways, that's just my thought process. Do I have any cases of this? No. I have like I don't even know if I just have the Pokemon Center boxes for it. So yeah, and that's another one. That's another one that would be like, you could say, yes, this does have it in it, right? Unless they print another wave of this after that card gets banned. So yeah, maybe even more so the Pokemon Center box. So yeah, I don't know. That's where I'd be putting my money. You got to think a little bit differently, and then eventually people will catch on to that, and then all of a sudden those prices go up. But you're already there. You're already invested, and you didn't have to pay a premium for it. Prismatic Evolutions Pokemon Center still doing really well. Again, even with the reprint announcement, this box is going to do well. Unfortunately, I only have one. I wish I had more. Surging still kind of sitting around where it is. Fusion going up. We've been seeing that. We already called that, so we knew that would. Lugia V also taking off. Mew taking off. We said these things would already happen. They were in our previous videos of, budget to baller. Lost Origins is going to go up too. All of these Sword and Shield era boxes, for the most part, it's a little bit more fine-tuned on this one, in terms of like not every box is going up, more of a select few. But I think the next thing, if you're looking for an investment in terms of Sword and Shield goes, I would look at, honestly, Crown Zenith. I still think like Crown Zenith, ETBs, Crown Zenith, Sea and Sky. Sea and Sky. I think, pardon me, I think those are your better options. Because they kind of trail behind the Sword and Shield, right? Like, it's usually like the main sets and then specialty, and then specialty kind of takes off again, and then it resets. I think that's where we're about to be. So I still think there's time for you to pick it up before it, takes another jump. What else we got? What else? Anything standing out? A lot of vintage cards still. Magikarp holding its place. This Pikachu for Celebration still. I don't know if you guys open Celebrations, but dude, I opened some, maybe 10 ETBs, and then a few, I don't know. Yeah, maybe 10. Dude, I have like 15 of this card, or I don't even know. Maybe even more. I think maybe like 20 of this card. So it was pretty common card. Just keep that in mind if you're going out and buying it and stuff. The 151 Pokemon Center, man. Dude, this thing is just printing. Look at this. God. Wow. This is crazy. Almost, what, $800 most recent sale. $800, dude. That is insane. So it's important to think, when you look at this box, Pokemon Center, ETB, and you look at the UPC, probably going for what's the UPC going for right now? We can find it. Oh, 418, or what's the most recent sale? 430 on this guy. With that, just keep in mind, kind of where we're at with Prismatic, I think is a good comparison, because Prismatic, a lot of people are investing in this UPC, and it'll be probably similar. You're going to look at the UPC, but then you're also going to look at the Pokemon Center ETB. It looks like the Pokemon Center ETBs are performing better. So just keep that in mind. I understand that 151 had an experience where there was no ETBs really reprinted. But yeah, still, dude, that is a massive jump in price. So if I were you and you had $250 kind of sitting, well, what's the Pokemon Center ETB right now? Probably at 230, and then the UPC is probably around 230. I'd be putting it into the Pokemon Center ETB for Prismatic. If you're in that situation, if that's a question you have, it's kind of a unique question, but anyways, hopefully it helps somebody. Following up, a lot of the poster collection stuff is kind of falling. I think the best one to have gotten was the Victini, because it has an illustration collection. People are asking if this is like the future Seadra and Greninja. No, it is not. It's like a budget version of that. This card is okay, but it's nothing comparison to those two. But again, it's nice. It's better than just a regular promo card, you know? It's full art, so yeah, that's at least nice. Let's see. 151, you know, kind of going back down in price. Again, I think, man, I love picking these up. I don't know. I mean, if they're $100 or under, you know, hit me up. Call me, dude. If you got a massive supply of these and you're trying to get them sold at, you know, you'll take $85-$90 on them, dude, I'm there. I'm there all day. Just let me know. Let's see what else. Everything else is kind of stagnant where it's been. Paldea is still kind of hanging around, even though people were screaming massive reprints. Look at this. Here's the reprint scare, right? Reprint dropped all the way down it dropped $30 and now it's climbing back up. You know, that's what I'm saying. Just do your own research when it comes to that stuff. Because sometimes it's hard to regain the position you had, right? So like maybe you had this box at maybe you bought it at 350, okay? And I'm just using this as an example. And you ran it up to 370 and then you sold it at 350 again, and now you're having to buy it. You'll probably have to buy it again at 360. So you lost $10 in that entire transaction, you know what I mean? So, I mean, that's just a small little example and very unique. I mean, but I was lucky enough to pick these up pretty cheap. Got in early on them, so. But again, you know, here's the thing. Don't feel like if you don't agree with a take sometimes, doesn't necessarily mean you have to just go in blindly with whatever I say. There's going to be opportunities that you feel comfortable with, that make more sense, and just better positions in the future. You don't have to do it all now. That's the big thing. You know, you do not have to do everything now. Stop comparing your collections to other people. That's a big reason I don't like to show all my stuff, because I don't want you thinking, you know, oh, I need to get a bigger collection to be more serious in this. And honestly, you know, that's one reason, but then also my girl would kill me if I had all my Pokemon stuff out. But regardless, you know, it's all about how you collect and collecting at the right pace, because otherwise you're going to put yourself in a position where it doesn't make sense, right? And then all of a sudden you have to sell because you're in credit card debt and you have to pay off the bills, and now you're selling at a loss, and now you're down $800 what you came into the hobby with. Take your time, collect at the right pace for yourself, and do your research. You know, if you're watching these kind of videos, you're obviously doing your research, but just keep doing that. You're doing good. But yeah, other than that, we'll keep going here. Chilling Rain started to move a little bit. Yeah, a little bit, but nothing too crazy. A lot of people preach about Chilling Rain. I get it. Some of the cards are really good in it. Just not my favorite set. I understand the values there within it, but I don't know. Just wasn't too into it. Let's see, Celebrations. Still, I mean, I don't really see Celebrations stopping for a while, which is crazy to say. I mean, I knew this would happen, but I was an idiot and I opened everything. Like I said, I had a few. I still have my Ultra Premium collection. I think that's going for like $800 now. But I don't know. It's like we're a whole year out, you know, and I guess the hype is still available, but I think people are taking liquidity cash out on this, which is smart, you know, especially if you paid $50 for the box. Now you're at $265. I mean, you 5x'd plus. So maybe you're just selling it at $250. So a flat 5x. That's great. I mean, that's great. That's how you want to do this hobby. You want to collect. Because here's the thing. There is going to be a crash eventually, you know, but like whether that means like the card initially was $10 and you bought it at 12 and then it went to 46, but then it crashed down to 24. You're still up. You're still doubled. But I mean, you could have cashed out at a better time. And I think that's where a lot of people are trying to time. But again, you know, if you're going to be in this for the long haul, get used to, you know, sitting on product. I mean, that's part of it. It really is part of it. Don't panic. You don't need to do what everybody else is doing. Because if you're doing what everybody else is doing, either you're going to be selling for cheaper or you're going to be buying for more. Because there's always somebody out there who's making the move first and then telling you guys. I mean, that's what a lot of these YouTubers are going to do. Like, I'll tell you guys out front, I'm going to tell you guys like, hey, I'm interested in this card. That's why I like telling you guys I don't have it, because there's going to become a time where I'm like, I picked it up today. I got it. And then you're going to be like, oh, you're just shilling the card. No, I've been telling you guys I like this card, 6 videos in a row. But yeah, that's why I tell you guys, there's definitely opportunities, but if you have a lot of opportunities in your repertoire, right? Like, this is something I'm interested, this is something I'm interested, yada, yada. When you go out to these card shows, you're going to pick the best option for you that day. You're not going to force something, right? Like if I wanted to go out and get this Celebrations box, right? I might only have one option for the show. But if I'm also interested in, I don't know, say the starters of the 151 era, or I want, ultra premium collection. Like I have other options and I can work whatever the best deal is for my money. So I don't know. Anyways, continuing on, Mew still kind of hovering around that $40 card or that $40 mark. Again, I've said this before. I think once 151 is out of print, don't be surprised if you see this card pushed to $100. I'm going to say it now. I know it's 30. But this is a really cool card. Very different in a lot of ways. And yeah, I think I wouldn't be surprised. Moving on. These are coming down, right? I don't even know what these are really doing. I'm not a crazy fan of these. I don't know what you guys think. To be fair, I haven't seen one in person. People say they're really cool in person. So I guess I need to see one. But I don't know. These Victini red cards, I'm just like, man, it just feels like a polished up gold card, So it's like, I don't know. But anyways, moving on, then it kind of gets into a lot of these cards that have been kind of sitting around these prices for a while. And then just some other stuff. Unbroken Bonds moving up to 2,000. Evolutions. What is Evolutions doing? Wow, recent sell 1,800. Okay, so it's moving again. Yeah, a lot of people are moving into the XY stuff. And yeah, kind of covers a little bit of everything, kind of the market trends and updates. Well, this card's going to 50, huh? This Charizard. I'm glad we covered that. Recent sell, $50, man. That's a near mint. So whatever you're seeing, 29 is probably damaged or something. Moderately played. So let's see. Near mints. Wow, man. Near mint, $50. Sheesh. Yeah, I mean, it's no surprise. Again, it's Charizard fighting Mewtwo. Like, sometimes you need to really sit back and think. Like, when this card came out, I can't even remember. I want to say it was like maybe even less than $7. I want to say it was less than $7. Don't overthink things, right? Like if it's Charizard, full art, that's what we got right here. Also battling Mewtwo, don't overthink it, And I'm kicking myself because I didn't pick up 1,000 of these things when it was $7. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, there's gonna come opportunities like this, and don't hesitate. You know what I mean? You know what you're doing, and yeah. Anyways, I think that covers everything for the most part. A few miscellaneous cards, but yeah, market's still healthy, and yeah, I know some other YouTubers have sold. I guess I'll talk about that a little bit. With Team Rocket Joe, I think he put a video out today that he sold everything. Which, two things, I'm like, you know what? Good on him, because he truly was saying, market's going to go to MSRP, and I was always wondering why he just kept his product. Because if you truly believe the market's on its way to crash, you should sell, right? And I was like, well, then, you know, do what you're saying and sell. And now he did. So I'm like, okay, yeah. So he does believe it's going to crash. And yeah, and if he's right, you know, that leaves him a lot of liquidity, or a lot of money to kind of move around into when people are trying to undercut each other and buy up the market. But also, I hope he continues to put out videos, because I feel like, I don't know what I would do if I sold out. I don't know if I keep doing videos. I mean, I think I would, you know, especially if I'm planning on buying back in, but hopefully he does. And yeah, his stuff's pretty funny to watch. I enjoy his stuff. I enjoy both sides. You know what would have been funny if Nostalgianomics bought his collection? That would have been the best scenario, right? Because then one side's like, I have your collection now. And then one side's like, I have your money, you know? And then if the collection goes up in value, it's like, ha, ha, ha. And then if all of a sudden the market crashes, and then, you know, Team Rocket Joey buys his collection back from Nostalgianomics. I mean, that's the ultimate. I was hoping for that. They should have like got together and done that. That'd have been huge. Anyways, that's just my thought process. You guys have a good one. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Later.